Hello and welcome. Alright, this is Tesla Coil Experiments log entry number 2. What we have here are 2 jars of just regular general all-purpose playground sand. And what we're gonna do is this is off right now. We have a ground attached to the secondary lead off our PNP Slayer exciter circuit. So from the secondary, what we're going to do is put this in the sand and see how that affects the Tesla coil. We do have a 16 gauge piece of copper going down the center of this Tesla coil here. And it's a small Tesla coil. It stops at the top of this cup. So this is a big cup right here, but it doesn't go all the way down it. So I'll leave it just like that. And we have this other jar, and eventually we will attach a lead to the piece of copper down the center here. After we see how this jar affects the Tesla coil, we'll see how grounding the piece of copper here affects the rest of the system. I'm going to turn this on, get our power supply on. We're just going to start with 30 volts. I'm going to get it dialed in. Alright, we're at 30 volts. And we should be resonating. Let's see, make sure you guys can see this. Oh, it would help if I attached the negative to the power source. Okay. I'll turn off the light here. There, okay, so you can see that's turning on. And this is probably hard to see, but here's the secondary right here, or the other end of the secondary. Oh, well, that's really interesting. When I cause this to spark, okay, so it's sparking out right now, and I don't think you can really see that. But when I put the tip of the fluorescent light bulb, it actually caused the light on my phone stand here that I'm using to record that you're on top of, it lights up. Or let's see, let's get it to, let's see if I just touch this. Okay, yep, so it stopped. I'm gonna try that again. So I'm gonna touch the tip of the end of the secondary, and my little light mechanism up there turns on. That's weird. And it stayed on. Damn. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just leave that on. Oh, my power supply dropped a tiny bit. Went from 30 volts to 29.9 volts. Come on. It's a little finicky. Okay, there we go. Alright, I want to check temperature, make sure this isn't burning out. Okay. So we do have a little breakout. Alright, now we're good. It's not breaking out anymore. What we're gonna do, I'm just gonna turn this back off so maybe you can see the breakout. I want to just put that right into the sand. Okay. Now we're gonna see if that's any brighter. Alright, put it here. Okay, not really much of a difference. So I'm actually gonna take a bolt, just put a bolt down in there. Shove that all the way in. Now I'm gonna attach the lead to this bolt, if I can. Hand's a bit small for this jar. All right. I don't know if that did much. I don't know if you can see that, and you're pretty far away, but there is a little bit of breakout, but it doesn't show up very nicely. Just gonna bring you in closer, maybe. No. Okay. So not much difference. I'm just gonna touch this, cause it to die out. We're hitting about 100 milliamps right now. We're staying fairly cool. Okay, what now I'm gonna do, we're good. Just gonna take the bolt out. All right, so this is just filtered tap water. I just got a little like charcoal Brita thing that can screw onto my faucet on my sink in my kitchen, and I get filtered water. So I'm just gonna dump this in there and see what effects this has. Just enough. So just enough to saturate the sand, and I actually probably have a little too much in there. Okay, so now let's put the bolt back in. Okay. And let's see if that has any extra effect. All right, we went down in milliamps. We're at 90. Still 30 volts. It's actually a decent range. For this tiny little guy, it's some pretty good range. I mean, it's not like a foot yet, but and if we just tap this, we can play with the breakout a little. Oh, I'm messing up with my light stand. That's weird when I cause the breakout. That's when it messes with the light stand there. Okay. So we should put that guy all the way in. Is this resonating at all? What if I just take it out? Put it in, take it out. Let's try the light next to it. That's out. We're at 120 milliamps like this, and then put that all the way in. causes it to. So I put this near, yep, so we stop the breakout. Okay. Let's ground the center plate. Okay, let's get a lead off of this guy, and let's see. Let's actually, so we'll take, we'll connect this. Actually, we could do it differently here. Okay. So instead of this one, we're going to put it into the first coil here. Okay. So that's tapped into this coil, and we're at 80 millivolts now with that connected. So then, let's see, I want this yellow one. Okay. Let's plug the yellow guy into the center plate. And then just undo this. It's not a lot of aluminum to transfer to. Let's whip it around on the opposite side. Okay. Now let's just plug that into the jar. Maybe I should have just put more sand in these things instead of trying to reach my hand all the way down. Okay. And put that lead into the ground. Okay. So now let's see if this resonates at all. Still working. Oh, okay. The breakout is small, but it's there. Very small. Now it goes away. Okay, but we get nothing there. Okay, what if I just go straight into the sand? Nothing? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I'm actually getting breakout off of the center here. So when I so this lead goes into this coil. This is one of the leads that goes into this rodent coil. I can actually, when I just touch it, I'm getting some sparks. Nothing crazy, but it's a very subtle sparking. Okay. Okay, so this yellow guy is the other lead of this coil. So instead, take this out. We'll just plug you straight into the sand. Anything? Okay. We're at 70 millivolts. Kind of starting to get hot. I want to figure out how, if I can you see this circuit? Yeah, okay, so this is the heat sink to the Slayer exciter circuit of the transistors that the transistors are on. And this thing's getting hot. But in theory, if the energy from here is supposed to be cold from the center here, and if we put it onto the center plate, so that the cold goes from the center out, I wonder if I can use this heat and draw it to the other side of the energy of this Tesla coil so that this transistor gets cold. I'm thinking if I have to plug it into the center of the plate here, but I'm not really sure yet, so I'll just have to play with that later. But right now I'm not set up to have a cord into the center of this plate. First though, what we are going to do is, let's add some water. Now let's see how this guy goes. Still a tiny bit of breakout. What if we go straight from the coil? I don't think I'm getting sparks. Oh, I'm still getting sparks. Okay, interesting. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Again, this is 30 volts. We're actually at 70 milliamps. Still 70 milliamps with that off. Now is it? Okay, still 70 milliamps with this plugged out of the sand jar. We gotta get it plugged in or shoved in deeper. Interesting. So no resonance out of this jar, or at least no resonance that's getting this to turn on. It's at least not strong enough. Now, what I also want to do is try tap water. And then I also want to do another trial where I add Himalayan salt to the water and see how that affects the system. Oh, it flickered. I think it's as soon as this cord hits the water, it's flickering. I think it's doing something. It's just not strong enough. And this is a small coil, so. I have a bigger one that's just being in the process of being wound, but I'm going with 32 gauge wire, and the spool it came in is apparently it's tangled. So as I'm trying to wind it out onto my coil, it wasn't spooled properly, so I keeps getting loops in the middle of the spool here starts coming undone, and then it gets all tangled, and it's just wasn't spooled well. Okay, so I'm gonna try and run this experiment again, but this time we've got 2 anodized aluminum rods that I just cut with a hacksaw. I have one big, like 3-foot piece that you can buy at Menards. I also put more sand in the jars, so it's up to about 500 milliliters worth of sand, and then just added water just enough to go to the top to saturate all the sand. And then this jar has got the same, a little more water in there, but it's the same amount of sand. So we're gonna see if it works better with more sand. So I'm just gonna put the rod right down in there. This one right down in there, just so I have a better connection. And run the power supply. And we're not connected right now. So right here is the black wire to my power supply, the negative. We already have the positive connected, so we're running a PMP, so we want the positive or the negative connected into the base of our PMP Slayer exciter circuit here. And right now we've got 80 milliamps, and this will ground the secondary. See if I can even get on there. It's a pretty wide chunk. All right. So we're attached, and all right. We don't have breakout. Now let's see if the little circle light pops on. There's around my recording device, there's a circular light going around it. So sometimes that's been popping on. Okay, well, we got here just a tiny bit of breakout. Very tiny. So that means we're at least achieving roughly 3 kilovolts, right? That's how much it takes to ionize the air. It's like 3 kilovolts per millimeter ionization or something like that, maybe centimeter. Okay, taking the ground off, and it did stop breaking out. That's interesting. Okay, so we attach, no breakout yet. Add this, and we got the little light on. Okay, so we have breakout. Oh, and I got too close to it. Okay, we still have breakout. It's barely hanging on. Yep. Okay, so my hand just shut it off. Okay, it's breaking out. If we remove it from the ground. Okay, it just shut off. Now can I cause the breakout? The breakout rapidly dies unless I keep the light next to it. Might be able to hear that. Not sure. Okay, no breakout. So, it does seem to be doing something with having this extra ground connected to the secondary. And again, we're only running at 30 volts and we're drawing 90 milliamps to run this. We do have the copper connected down the center of the Tesla coil. We have it connected to the rodent coil here, the top one. There's another one underneath, but that one's completely disconnected. It's connected just to this top one. And I haven't looked, but I haven't picked anything up on the compass, so I don't know if that's fluctuating at all. We're getting about that much brightness. Okay, so here's the wire going into the rodent coil from here, and here's the other end of the rodent coil. You can't really see because of the thin wire, but what I'm gonna do is just attach this to the other. Oh, did I see bubbles right away? Thought something moved like right away. Okay, we're just gonna hook this. Maybe it's because I smacking it. Need bigger clamps for these. Okay. Now, okay, so we have it grounded at the beginning of the secondary into that jar. And now we have the wire coming from the center of the Tesla coil, going out into this coil, coming out of this coil into the jar. Do we get anything? Nothing. So more sand didn't really help. And are we breaking out? Well, we're changing the the lighting. So we're causing some sort of disturbance, which is kind of cool. I want to turn the light off. Wait, maybe right. Maybe the initial zap. Oh, there we go. Okay, it changed. And there, now it's off. That's literally just doing this. I'm not doing anything else. I don't know how well that's coming on the camera, but it's interesting. Okay, getting kind of warm. Not too bad. I'm gonna crank it up to 40 volts. too much. 40.7, 40.6. Okay, 40 at 170 milliamps. Getting warm. What if I touch it? Nothing? Okay, I'm gonna shut this light off. There. Am I still getting sparks? Oh yeah. Oh, and those sparks even cause that thing to turn on. All right, I'm gonna take the camera. Let's shut this. I'm gonna see if I can showcase this. Oops. Okay. See if I can get it to focus. That's just this wire dangling down the center. Can't really see it very well. Come on, focus. There, you can kind of see it sparking. Oh, turn my light on. Okay. How hot are we getting? Getting kind of hot. And now, all right, I want to show you the spark over. So you can kind of see the wire. There. So that's about the size that we're getting. And then if I unplug, well, I guess we are at 40 volts now too, so let's turn the voltage down, back down to 30. Starting to die. Oh, we're dead. 30 volts, 110 milliamps. Okay. It's still there. Well, it doesn't spark over. Now, if we ground it, okay. Where's the wire? Right there. Maybe I'm too close to it. I could be just too close to it with my hands. The frequency is messing with that though still. So, interesting. Okay, now time to try a different water.